Jeanne Dielman. I'm not reading that long address. This is a movie directed by Chantal Ackerman from 1975, and it is widely regarded as one of the greatest films of all time. And I don't like it. There is a lot to love about this movie. Between the static camera facing, showing almost an entire room, and, her doing her day-to-day life in that space without ever moving the camera. Fantastic works. It is very well directed. The long shots, the slow pacing, there's a lot of things to love about it. However, it is 3 hours and 20 minutes. And it's a movie it's described as slice of life, and that makes sense. It is just like her day-to-day life. Like her getting up, making coffee, getting her son ready for school, who, by the way, is like a teenager. He's old enough to be asking questions about sex. I don't know a ton about Brussels' education system, but what we would call high school, he's probably about that age. And there's just not a lot going on. And that's okay. It's okay for a movie to not have a, huge narrative or huge plot. It's okay for it to be this low stakes, just daily life. A lot of it is really fine. But honestly, between it being in French, which means I have to read for 3 hours, and, it just not being super interesting, I can't get into this one. I'm sorry. If This is considered one of the best movies ever made. I don't think it is. I'm not seeing it. There's a lot of things I really like about it. I do want to stress that. I really love the directing of the movie, and Daphne Srig is doing a fantastic job in this movie. However, it is boring as hell. I couldn't do it. I watched it. I watched all 3 hours, and for me personally, if a movie is going to be that long, it really needs to justify that kind of time. And, I don't feel like it does. I feel like I knew essentially what was happening in the movie. Her son's kind of lazy and kind of bummy, but she also babies him to no end. She's a widow, and, she doesn't really have a whole lot going on in her life besides her son. And, I get a lot of these things, right? These things are understandable. These are relatable. But I kind of figured a lot of this out after the first, hour. So, of the 201 minutes, I figured out what was going on in the movie in about 45. At that point, maybe another hour I could have handled. Honestly, for the first, 90 minutes of the movie, I was fine. It was okay. It wasn't anything, I wasn't really enjoying it. I'm not going to pretend like I was. It was just fine. It was a pretty movie to look at. It was somewhat interesting, but it didn't really feel like it was going anywhere. And I knew going in it was a slice of life movie, so a very just day to day, what's going on kind of movie. So I wasn't expecting any major developments or anything like that. So I was fine with it for about 90 minutes. And then it kept going. And as it kept going, I felt like nothing new was really happening. They would add little things. It started with her doing dinner, getting dinner ready and sort of prostituting herself here a little bit. Someone comes over, they go in the bedroom, they come back out the bedroom, and he hands her money. It starts with these slow build, and pretty much every day they add, because it tells it in days, and every day they have a little extra that she has to do. And I guess that's the point of the movie, is it's just more and more every day. You have to do something else, and I get it. But again, I got it after about 90 minutes. It had 2 hours. I probably would have still been yeah, this is a good movie. Watch it. At 2.5, I'm this is fine, but I can't imagine I'd ever want to watch it again. I don't know if I could recommend it. At 3 hours, I don't know if I can recommend watching this movie at all. It is, again, it is a really pretty movie. It is really well acted, but it is just so goddamn long. And it's boring long. If you want to be 3 hours, I need to see some action. I need to see something happening. I need to feel something. I need to be, You either got to make me cry or make me like, or I need like some loud explosions. I can't do 3 hours of she got up and made coffee and then started breakfast and then polished his shoes and then went to the bank and then came home and babysat for 15 minutes and then laid a towel on the bed for her suitor to come home and then showered and then made dinner and then went to bed and then got up and did it again. Like, I can't do 3 hours of that. It just wasn't that interesting. With that being said, for I think maybe the first time, I don't recommend watching this movie, like, at all. I can't recommend watching this movie. There's a lot to love about it, and I can see why, like, some really pretentious people would be like, no, this is the movie you gotta watch. But honestly, if you're not, like, super into world cinema and, like, if you're not collecting Criterion movies and, like, these world films and, like, this just, the more pretentious films, I do not see you liking this movie. Like, if your movie-going experience is, like, the Marvel movies and whatever summer blockbuster is out and the big comedies for the year or whatever, I don't see you liking this. If you've never seen a movie before, like, I don't know, 1980, I don't see you liking this. If you're not watching weird shit, I just don't see you liking this. This is a movie for pretentious people. And that's not to say that it's bad. Because there really is just so much to love about this movie. However, those things are things that people who are just really into film will enjoy, but the average person just isn't. I don't think is going to. The average viewer, the average moviegoer, I don't think you're going to enjoy this movie. I can't recommend it. But that being said, it's okay. Like, I'm going to keep this copy. Like, I'm not disappointed that I watched it. I'm not mad that I bought it. I'm glad I watched it. It was really interesting for, like, the first hour. But it's not that good. It's okay. Anyway, thanks for watching. I got nothing really else to say about this movie. I don't recommend watching it, but, you know, what do I know? I'm an idiot. 1,000 directors called this, like, the best movie of all time. In 2022, it topped the critics poll for greatest movie of all time, beating things out like 2001, A Space Odyssey, Citizen Kane, and Vertigo. So, you know, what do I know? Maybe I'm just wrong, but I didn't like this movie too much. It was an okay movie. The directing was really good. The acting was really good. But at almost 3.5 hours, I simply cannot recommend this. Bye.